And we are live. Yes, we are. We finally got on the air. We are live. Good morning. It is just a little after 11 o'clock. Time for Drive Time Radio. New York Vinnie here with you on a rainy Saturday morning here in Seattle. Hopefully, it'll be a little nicer where you are, wherever that may be. And little crazy bit of a morning here, but I think we had everything under control, and we will present our show to you, which we do every turn some lights on here. It's kind of been a crazy morning, but we do have a show for you. We are happily getting ready to have Brad Nelson from Honda on in just a few minutes, and we will talk to Brad about Honda. Saw him down at the Portland Auto Show that is currently filling up the Oregon Convention Center. If you are heading down that way and you want to look at some cars, they have a fine selection for you to look at down there. They go all weekend, and it's your Garden Variety Auto Show. You get to walk around, you get to feel the interiors, you get to feel the materials, you get to sit in the car. And what's new about auto shows, and we see it up here in the Seattle Auto Show, we saw it here, we see it in a lot of different auto shows, to get people into the shows because, auto show attendance has been a little shaky the last few years. So what they have done is they have said, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll give you a chance to drive the cars. So in some venues, you can do that inside the show. Some venues will let you drive the car right inside the show. If it's an electric car, the electric cars lend themselves to doing that. So they'll give you an opportunity to drive that electric car right inside the show. If you're Toyota, if you are another company, Polestar, I know is there. We're doing live ride and drives. If you are Polestar, they'll let you do it as well. So if you're down there, if you're down at the show, by all means, do yourself a favor. You're going through Portland and you say, I want to get out of the car for a little while. Stop by the convention center down by Lloyd Street there in the Lloyd neighborhood, and catch the stuff happening at the auto show. It was good to get down there and meet up with fellow members of the Northwest Press. I saw our good friends, the 11th Lilienthal's down there, and my good friend John Vincent, all guests on the show at one time or another. And got to see our friends from Page One that are down there that help us with our events and cars and so on and so forth. They were at a nice lunch thrown by our good friends at Honda. So that was neat. Infinity was also down there, did breakfast. And, of course, I was late for breakfast. So that's how it goes sometimes, but Infinity had a nice display down there. The QX line of SUVs are a lot of people are talking about them. Luxurious looking SUVs. So if you're in that big SUV, that luxury looking luxury line, and I know Nissan is also down there with their vehicles, and the Nissan Leaf continues to be an electric vehicle that people are talking about. It's been around a long time. It just updated it last year, and it's a vehicle that's getting talked about among people that are looking to buy electric cars. And Portland is a place that buys electric cars. They're interested in electric cars there. It's that kind of place that they buck the national trends, as they do so many times. They buck the national trends and they say, well, you know what? We're Portlandia. We do things different here. and they do. And so we got a chance to stop by the Portland Auto Show, and here's a little bit of what we saw. There you see our good friends, John Vincent and Nick Miles, past presidents of NAWAPA, the Northwest Automotive Press Association, up the escalator into what they call the luxury loft. And I thought that was a lot of fun to see them. Always good to see them hanging out and, get to talk cars and the business and so on and so forth with them. And I always enjoy seeing them. Then we go inside the show in the luxury loft, and you have Polestar. And this is an up and coming brand. It's a sister brand to Volvo, all electric, all cars that have been improved one way or another over the Volvo, a more sporty look. And here you see some young people, and young people not only looking at the cars, but presenting the cars as well. And, it was interesting to listen in on this conversation a little bit because, it wasn't the typical way that you think a car dealer talks to some people that might be interested. Now, I don't know if these ladies were interested in this particular car, but I was interested in the conversation that was going on between these people to find out if young people who are, going to be in the market for a car pretty soon talk to each other differently about these cars, and they do. This was the BMW stand. Beautiful colors on these BMWs. There you see the X5M, and then we go over to Infinity, and their interiors, again, just a really beautiful, beautiful stand, a beautiful display. I was impressed with the interiors of the Infinity. I've always been impressed with Infinity and always liked their vehicles, but the QX60 and their vehicles just seem to have, they spend their money on the interiors, is what I'm going to tell you. Mechanically, they're sound, but they spend their monies on the interiors. There's some really good looking vehicles at the Infinity stand. And then the Mercedes. I mean, when you talk about luxury cars, you talk about Mercedes. And again, you walk up and down the Mercedes stand, and there's a little something for everybody at the Mercedes stand, from the $50,000 SUV right on up to $100,000 plus vehicles. And, Mercedes has always been one of my favorites. They just bring luxury to the forefront. And, that they're not, it's interesting. They're not, as of lately, they've dropped back a little bit in luxury brand sales, but they're still at the top. They're still in the top 5 or 6. And, Lexus is always going to be number 1 or number 2. They are an exceptional vehicle that has a great reputation, but Mercedes is right up there. Technology-wise, Mercedes probably beats almost everybody except Audi, to be honest with you. Audi is a really good brand, known for their technology. And they do some really good work when it comes to, as I said, their technology and their ability to package that technology in a car, as we'll see coming up here in a few minutes as we do our vehicle this week. So as we do our Yo Vinnie, what are you driving this week? Vehicle this week. All right, in just a couple of seconds, we'll talk to somebody from Honda they had a nice display at the show too, showing off a few of their vehicles. And we will make sure that we get a chance to spend some time with Brad Nelson and talk to him a bit about Honda and what they are doing. And we're going to get with. I don't know how in the world they're going to continue doing the other I mean, how in the world they're going to put this together and know how to price cars, know how to make up for their losses. I mean, I wouldn't want to be running a car company right now because I don't think you know what you're doing. It's almost like you're running a show. I don't know if I know what I'm doing. I mean, you get to a point where you're pushing buttons and you're trying to get everything to work, but it's not working. I mean, I'm not a technological genius to begin with, and then you get, insanity that's going on with the controls. So by the time you finish, oh my lord. Uh, anyway, I understand that you might not have been able to hear some of the stuff that I was talking about a few minutes ago. And you know what? It's probably good you didn't. I just talked about the tariffs and how car makers can figure this stuff out. I mean, if things change, I mean, it changes from night to day. Yesterday, the president had a press conference and he said, well, it was going to be a 10% tariff. He woke up this morning and now it's a 15% tariff. How do you run a country like that? How do you run a business like that? I mean, I don't understand or know how somebody how somebody that owns a business can look at this and say that well, this is good for the country. This is what we voted for. I just don't know. It is baffling, but it's just another one in a series of stuff that concerns automotive that people have to try to figure out. It's almost like the motto of this country has gone from "In God We Trust" to "Well, you figure it out." It's insane. And you try to reconcile it and you try to make it, so you can tell people and you can advise people what to do. But I don't know how I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you tell people, advise people how to buy a car, how to plan for their future, what car to buy, with the insanity that we see in this country. It's just kind of it's kind of wild. So we're going to talk to Brad Nelson from Honda here in just a second, and get a chance to talk to him. We're getting him on the phone.
Hello.
Hi, Brad.
Yes.
Hey, it's Vinnie. How are you?
I'm doing good, Vinny. Hang on just a second. I'm going to adjust my
Okay.
my phone here. Okay, I think I'm ready.
Okay, so I didn't know if we were going to get you on the computer, so I gave you a holler on the phone just to do you straight up like that. So I hope that works for you.
Yep, that's fine. I'm also hooked up on the computer if you prefer, but
you know what? If we can, let me see if we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, we got you on the computer. Let's see. Yeah, we got you on the computer. It looks like. So I'll hang up on this and we'll go with the computer. We got you, Brad. Okay. Okay, let's see if we find Brad. Okay. Let's try it again. Unmute mic. So for some reason, his mic isn't unmuting, and that is okay. Let's try it one more time. Unmute the mic. All right. I'm going to go back to calling him again.
Hey there.
All right, we'll just go this way. Seems to be easier. For some reason, it's not letting me unmute your mic, but that's okay. Brad Nelson is with us here on Drive Time. Sorry for the confusion and for the insanity, but the internet is for some reason acting a little crazy this morning. Or I'm one of us is crazy. Anyway, good morning, Brad. How are you?
Good morning, Vinny. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Good.
How are you doing?
Good. A little crazy, but I wanted to get you on a couple of minutes and talk about Honda. You're the man that takes care of Honda up in the Northwest, and you've been up here a couple of years, and um, Honda product, of course, as you know, is very popular up here in the Northwest.
Yes.
People up here, love the cars, and it's interesting to me in that Honda seems to stretch across a lot of different age groups. I see people buy a Subaru and they're a certain age group. People buy a Tesla, they're a certain age group. But Honda seems to have hit a formula of appealing with the Civic and the sport models of the Civic to younger people, and with the older models like the Pilot and Accord to the older set of people. It seems to really run across age groups.
For sure, I agree with that, and I think there's a pretty solid explanation for that. Affordability is, of course, a really big thing. Our cars are generally in a very affordable place, and we give good value kind of across the board, and the reliability and quality is also very appealing, and I think that's the combination of those things. When you're young, affordability is kind of everything, and as you get older, it's a really big deal to have a very reliable and high quality automobile.
Yes, as somebody who's getting older, thank God, I think you see that a lot of times, is that you want a car that is going to be reliable, is going to be, you're not going to be at the dealer every week with the car. I have several friends that own Hondas. CRVs seem to be the popular car for a lot of the older people, and they love them. They swear by them. It's really kind of I don't want to call it a cult because we throw that word around these days a little bit more than we probably should, but it's definitely a solid group of fans for the brand.
For sure, yeah, absolutely. The quality, the performance is typically higher than expected. Our cars, if you compare them to other models from other manufacturers in their segments, they often feel a class above. I mean, they're just the quality is there. The driving performance is typically really good. We've got great dynamic handling and ride and performance that often outstrips the competitors. So I think, yeah, there's a really good appeal for sure.
And you guys also still believe in cars, which I'm a big fan of. Yes,
yes, we do.
Where many manufacturers have kind of said, well, we're just going to abandon the car market. We're going to make our SUVs and make the profit that they bring us. Honda has said, well, you know what? This world needs cars. Not everybody wants to drive an SUV, and you guys have really stepped into that space, not only with improved versions of your cars already existing, but by bringing back the Prelude. You've also kind of made a statement of we don't think the sedan, we don't think the coupe, we don't think the car is dead yet. There's still people that want these vehicles.
Yeah, for sure. They tend to be more economical, lower priced, and therefore affordable, and lighter, and potentially a little more durable, reliable. It's just they're very good transportation, and a lot of people just don't really need or care for an SUV and a sedan, and then of course a sporty coupe kind of gives it a new dimension or a refreshed dimension. Let's say that, because they've been around a long time, right?
Right.
And of course the Prelude has a long history. The sporty coupes were kind of a tough place to be in the early 2000s. A lot of people, the sales were kind of falling off. There's as SUVs became more interesting for people in a sporty space. but there's always been a love for sporty cars by enthusiasts, and so we've catered to that, with the Civic Si and the Civic Type R, and of course the Prelude previous to that. But this new Prelude gives a new dimension for us to play with. It's really a cool car.
Was it hard to make the decision to bring this car back? I mean, I know you weren't sitting in a room with Honda, and they didn't. I'm sure they didn't call you up and say, "Hey, Brad, what should we do here?" But, or maybe they did. I shouldn't say I know. Maybe they call, "Hey, Brad, listen, we want to know what should we do with this car?" But
well, I wish.
yeah, exactly. But you're a car guy. You followed cars and worked on cars and engineered cars for a long time. When you first heard this idea coming up in the company, were you overjoyed? Did you think it was a good idea, or did you say, we'll see what happens?
Well, I was definitely excited. I knew it would be a challenge to bring it back as a hybrid, and of course at the moment that I heard about it, I didn't even know about the Type R hardware they were putting in the car, the chassis components and the brake system,
right,
and so forth. And so I didn't really have a good idea of how good of a car this was going to be, and until I started getting into the details, and then I got really excited because it's really a great looking car, especially when you see it in person, or in the middle, as I like to say.
Yeah.
But when you get in it and drive it, it is so nice. Now, it is not a sports car or a track. We definitely don't hold it up to be that. This is really meant to be more of a grand touring car. You can take on long, feel really comfortable, and also really enjoy the country and mountain roads with outstanding handling. It's just really cool.
Well, I have this test course that I have up here. We call it the Joe, which is named it after my father, the Joe Ricci Memorial Automotive Test Course. And, it goes through the backwoods and some really nice roads. So I'll be excited to drive it and to see exactly how it handles on that road, because it's a course that tests the car out really on Northwest types of roads, which, as you know, you have some roads that can be a little rough, but you also have a lot of just beautiful, nice stretches of road that go through the woods and kind of take you away from it. And that when you have a grand touring car, a car like that, that's part of what you want, I think, Brad, is to get in a car and not turn the radio on, maybe just turn some music on and go for a drive for a few hours that makes you forget about everything that's going on in the world, and just get you in that car and get you in that space of enjoying the vehicle, enjoying the enjoyment, as I would say, as opposed to just having a car that you're going trudging back and forth to work with.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's really an escape. And I'm sure you would agree with me that taking those trips where you can really just kind of leave the world behind and kind of get into your own head and enjoy the scenery, enjoy the driving feeling. That's a pleasure that we've been able to have for many, many years, just through the automobile. I mean, it's been a great thing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you really, from your first car where you went on your first camping trip or something like that to, up till today, we can go in and buy a car that has all of the stuff that you really want already on it. You don't have to spend hours in the garage tuning it up and everything. It really is a pleasure. Brad Nelson from Honda and Acura Public Relations is with us. We get a chance to talk to him about the Hondas and the Acuras that mainly Honda, though, we're talking about today. Get an update on some of the things that are going on there. If you're going down, as we were talking about and showing you film from the Portland Auto Show, they have a nice display down there where they have some great cars that you can put your hands on and touch and see, including the Prelude. Another car that you guys are excited about is the Pilot. We were talking before about all spectrums of the age groups. Well, when you finally get married because you now caught the partner with the prelude. Now you got to think, all right, well, I need something for the family, and that's where the Pilot comes in, right? I guess you want that SUV. Now you're saying, okay, well, now it's time for the SUV, and you guys have taken the Pilot, one of the best SUVs out there, and made some improvements to it.
Oh, for sure. We've got a nice package of improvements for 2026, and it improves the exterior appearance. We've got a new front grille. It's bolder and I'll say a little more trucky. Gives you kind of a strong appearance. New alloy wheels. We've upgraded the cabin with nicer materials, and reduced the noise in the cabin through updated NVH measures. Also improved the steering feel, which is a nice thing for those long drives. And this thing makes the Pilot just really pleasant. Also gets a quite a bit bigger center screen, and this is standard across the board now. It's a 12.3 inch center screen, so it's nice and large. And we've held the line on prices pretty well. This is a vehicle that starts at just $42,000, I think $42,195. And you think about that. This is the most expensive vehicle we have in our lineup. When you get to the top trim, it does. The Black Edition gets up to $54,995, and that's we're starting at $42,195, which is well below the average new car price in the United States. This is our value and the affordability and the Honda brand.
Yeah, that's the thing is you led me right into my next question is, affordability is such a big issue for people today. Everybody's talking about that we can't get into a new car, or all of a sudden we're looking at stretching payments out to 80 months and insanity like that. Honda has kind of addressed that with some cars that if you go into a showroom, you can find a Honda, walk out of there with a car under $30,000 if you want to, right?
Oh, definitely so. You can. Even our hybrids are available as low as I think $32,000 for a Civic hybrid. So we really do. We have stuck to the value proposition that we've always offered, and while increasing the quality and the fun to drive and the aesthetics and just the overall goodness. And one other thing I'd like to mention is all of those qualities together really help keep up the resale value. So they're a good deal on a lease because the residual values are high, and when people buy them and keep them for 5 or 10 years, they don't take it in the shorts when they sell their car.
Right.
As long as they're nice, right?
Which is important today. I mean, that's something that people think about, especially the way things, with the price of cars today. I mean, I would never tell anybody to look at a car as an investment, but I would say to, think about that, how long you're going to keep that car, and, if you're going to keep that car just a couple of years, or you're going to keep it for 5 or 10 years, that you want a car that is going to last that long. You want to look at reliability factors in it, and also a car that you're going to be happy in for a number of years, because that's the biggest thing is to be happy to drive your car. And it's only certain cars with a nice interior, with a good look, that doesn't get too dated, that that you can sink that money into, and know that at the other end of it you're going to have at least get something back. You're not going to be selling the car to some kid for $200 for his, to go back and forth to college with it. It's going to be worth something to you. And that's something that Honda, with resale value brings to the table.
Very much so. Yeah, we've gotten a lot of awards over the years for resale value, high resale value, and that's been a big part of the Honda brand for sure.
What's the next big thing up for Honda now? Is just getting the Prelude into showrooms, into the hands of people.
So the Prelude's been on sale since November, but it's been a bit of a trickle. Getting, because it's coming from Japan. It's produced in Japan, and of course, unfortunately, subject to the tariffs that we've had recently. But
right.
But we've been getting them into the showrooms gradually, and it's starting to take off. So yeah, they're becoming more available across the country for sure.
How do you figure out? I mean, have you guys at Honda figured out the tariffs yet? Because I know I consider myself to be a smart person. I look at the tariffs and I scratch my head. I can't figure things out. It must be tough bringing a car in from Japan these days because you don't know what you're going to be paying, right?
Yeah, it is tough. I think so many people have been hit in some way, whether they know it or not. Prices just go up, and they don't know it's directly from a tariff or not. But it's cut across so many products, so many businesses in our lives, and from food to medicine to automobiles, electronics. It's everywhere. So it's. I wouldn't say it's a level playing field,
right?
But there's a lot of companies that are feeling the pinch like we are. So we have to balance that to maintain affordability and a good value, and still be able to make a profit so we can continue to do the business and put out the great cars that people love.
Yeah, because if you don't make money, you can't. It's really hard to stay in business if you're not making some kind of profit. Or so they tell me. I don't know. So I've heard.
You got it.
Well, listen, Brad, it's good to have you on. I really appreciate you telling us about what's going on at Honda and getting a look into what is happening there. And it's good to catch up with you. And I appreciate you taking a little time to jump on the show.
Well, thanks so much, Vinnie. It was really great to be with you.
All right. Talk to you soon, my friend.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Take care. All right. Brad Nelson from Honda. And life is good. So there you go. All right. There we go. That's there. And anyway, well, it's been an interesting morning. That's for sure. Sometimes these, the one thing that a friend of mine always tells me is that look on the bright side of things, and you'll do okay. So that's what I try to do. I know that sometimes we have these problems, and I try to figure them out, and it sometimes is hard to figure them out, but we do, and we get to always look at what we're what we're doing and how we do it, and we try to do it as good as we can each week. So, all right, yo, Vinnie, what are you driving this week? We have that coming up for you here as we get excited about this Audi, which I'm such an Audi fan, and I just really enjoy these vehicles. This one is the Audi Q5. Just got it and drove it to Portland and back to the auto show yesterday. And I'm just enamored with this car. I mean, from the outside, it just, it looks, got the Audi look to it, obviously. The distinctive shape, the wall-to-wall LED lights, and everything that, that you expect out of Audi. And from there, you can look at the back panel. You look at this vehicle that is stylish. Gets great gas mileage. I think I got close to 30 going down to Portland and back. Uh, all gas, no hybrid in this one. It's the TFSI motor, and it's again it's got a feel to it, a technology that's unbelievable. When you get in this car, this is what I spent time looking at. You hit the button and you have YouTube in the car. Ew. So, oh man, see, maybe that's not a good thing because you turn on that YouTube and you can watch. Now it doesn't work while you're driving, but it works while you are going along, and you get a million entertainment options, including being able to watch this. And guess what? Karaoke in the car as well, as you get to choose your favorite songs. We went for Desperado with Clint Black, the old Eagles song, and hit that thing. And if you're parked, guess what? And I really like this. We had it in a Mustang. I really enjoyed it because while you were charging the car, you could karaoke. And as somebody who likes to karaoke, I don't do it well, but as you like to you like to karaoke, you get while you're electrically charging the car, you can sing your song. Desperado, why don't you come to your senses? Anyway, a solid vehicle, the Q5. It gets a 268 horsepower, 4-cylinder engine. It's a premium trim, passenger display, which I understand a passenger display. I'm not a big fan of it because I think that people that are passengers ought to not be looking at a screen all the time. You should see America, but a great dash cam system, a bigger grille, and the MMI system, which in an Audi is great. Legroom in the back, seats fold down and give you lots of cargo room. And it really, with the all-wheel drive, it gives you, like, I drove down to Portland yesterday in this thing and back, and it gripped the road. I mean, it was just a pleasure. The seats are comfortable. They adjust well. It is a great road car, a great cruising car, a great car on the road to make you feel like you got power to pass people. You're safe. You're cocoon safe in this thing. It has tons of safety equipment. And I just really, I like the style. I like the technology. I like everything that Audi is about. This particular car, I think, was around $58,000, if I'm not mistaken. And with the panoramic sunroof and everything, they'll go up against a BMW or a Mercedes or really any one of those cars with the Audi. And, we'll give you a full review in a couple of weeks. But first blush on the Audi, I enjoyed it. Again, especially the the fact that you can listen to you have so many options, and where those options are really good, if you got passengers in the car, you can get them some entertainment while they're cruising along. When they're going places, you get them some entertainment. You get them on a long drive, a drive down to Portland or something. It's really good. It's really a lot of fun. And by the way, that sunroof that's in the Audi, which is panoramic. I mean, when they say panoramic, it truly is. It slides all the way back to the back seat, so backseat people get some of that sunroof too. And it's if you're out looking at stars, it's a great way to to go out and look up at the stars. Uh, Again, I like the Audi. All the things put together, all the technology that goes into this car makes for a great driving experience. Now, I know that there are people who say buy less technology. All of that technology can go wrong and so on and so forth. I realize that. But the other side of that coin is if the technology is available and you're the kind of person who loves that stuff, and I know people who absolutely love all of these things. I mean, they work the inside of an Audi like they're working a phone, like it's their iPhone. I mean, boom, boom, boom. They hit the buttons. They know what they're doing. Bang, bang, bang. And they got, they take advantage of all of the different things that are in this car that have been put in there by Audi. So if you're a high tech person, if you want the technology, it is available in this car. And it is, I like the, just the feel of the car. There's two things, two competing pieces when I look at a car now. It's what is the technology, what is the ride experience. I'm still a ride experience guy. I'm one of those people that could care how much technology the car has, how much is connected. I mean, the YouTube in the car, the karaoke in the car is nice. It's a good distraction. But my main concern is still how does that car drive? How does that car feel when I'm driving it? Does it tire me out to drive it? Or does it pass the time honored test of an automotive guy, which is does it feel good when you're driving it? Does it handle well? When you go into a curve, does it feel a nice, uh, 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 does it make you feel like you're in control of that car, like you are having experience that, well, like we talked about with Brad before, of getting in a car, uh, turning the music on, and taking a nice ride on a country road? Yet, do you feel comfortable in traffic? Does it have enough in that car that when you're in traffic, it doesn't tire you out? Audi, for my money, has done that in their cars. And I find that to be refreshing. And I find that to be the mark of a good car. Yeah, they cost some money. Um, but if you are a person that likes the tech and likes the little things that they put in there that make that car, um, luxury today seems to have gone over to how much tech can you put in a car. And I don't know that anybody puts more tech in a car than Audi. I mean, yeah, maybe Tesla, maybe some of the electrics, but in a gasoline engine powered car, Audi seems to lead the league in tech. So take a look at it, see if you like it. I liked it in my first impression. It made a good first impression. Our mothers all told us first impressions are very important. And so that's a good a good week when I get to drive an Audi. You can bet on that. All right. A little bit of a shortened version of drive time today so we can straighten out the bugs that we have, hopefully. We always appreciate you watching the show. I want to say two things. Number one, the show is sponsored by my good friend George Jackson. If you need business promotional items for your business or for a party that you're giving, and by that I'm talking about T-shirts, I'm talking about pens, tchotchkes, things that you use for your business to keep your business top of the mind awareness. Call my friend George Jackson. You can find him on the internet at gjpromo.com. Find him on Facebook. Find him on all the socials at gjpromo.com. GJ Promotions, George Jackson Promotions. The one thing about George that I think is the best thing about George is he's a good guy. He's reliable. When he says he's going to get you something, he gets it to you on time. He takes care of you. He gives you personal service. And that's something that's missing in this world today is personal service. People getting you stuff when they say they're going to get it for you. It happens. I know. George makes sure that it doesn't happen. George makes sure that when you go to him and you say, George, I need these items. I want this for my business or for my upcoming birthday party or whatever, that it's going to be there. You're not going to be holding your hand out on your birthday party going, George, where is my stuff? Well, I'll be here in 2 weeks. Well, 2 weeks past my birthday party. Well, I don't know what to tell you. No, you don't get that from him. He's a good guy. He keeps his promises, and he makes sure that you are taken care of. So, George Jackson, GJPromo.com, longtime sponsor of this show, and we appreciate him doing that. And you should appreciate him too by patronizing our sponsors and the people that allow me to come to you every week. Before I go, I want to take just a quick moment to mark the passing of a legend in sports. The man who hit the deciding Game 7 home run in the 1960 World Series, talking about Bill Mazeroski. If you lived in Pittsburgh, and I wrote about him on Facebook this morning, if you lived in Pittsburgh, whether you were there when he hit that home run or not, you know Bill Mazeroski. A nice guy, active with the team, certainly was until I left town 5 years ago. And just a prince of a gentleman. Never heard anybody say a bad thing about him. He was a true Pittsburgh legend. And when you're a legend in Pittsburgh, it's something special. When you're a sports legend, it's even more special. There's a love for their sports figures that goes beyond anything I've ever seen before. Many people move on to the next best thing when these guys retire. Mazeroski hit a shot that, people still talk about today. As a matter of fact, every October, 13th, people gather at where Forbes Field used to be. There is still a wall of Forbes Field sitting up and on the campus of the University of Pittsburgh. And they gather there every 13th of October, and they listen to the radio call of the game. And they're still as excited this year as they were back in 1960 when he hit that thing. And it's just a grand to see people enjoy a sports moment like that and still enjoy it so many years later. Still talk about it so many years later as if it happened yesterday. And Bill Mazeroski brought that to the team. There's a statue outside of PNC Park that made that moment, that will cause that moment to live in perpetuity forever. But the living embodiment of that moment, the man who hit the home run, was always around that team, always stopped to say hello to people, always had a kind word for people. And it's sad to know that he has left this world and is up there in baseball heaven. So, Bill, thank you for the time. Thank you for thank you for being Bill Mazeroski. Nobody else could have done it like you did. You certainly fit the mold. All right, that'll do it. We'll join you next Saturday morning at 11 o'clock, if the Lord's willing, and the creek don't rise, for another edition of Drive Time. Thanks for listening and watching the show. We always appreciate it. And, of course, as we always say, if the Lord's willing, the creek don't rise. We'll see you next week. Thank you for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.